Patek Philippe has nailed almost every aspect of fine watchmaking, but surely there must be something other than just fine craftsmanship that's taken Patek to where it is today. For almost 2 centuries, Patek Philippe has grown to be one of the most adored watch brands in the world, with such a rich history to match. Despite the fact that they appear to only produce less than 70,000 watches every year, there is no question that it remains the most significant and most loved brand in the watch industry. They have maintained a good market performance throughout the years, and it's no wonder that Patek Philippe watches are quite popular among collectors. In this video, we'll be talking about some of the reasons that make Patek Philippe pieces so unique, valuable, and entirely on the pricey side. Stick around. For starters, let's consider why they are so valuable in the first place. And what better way to begin than by citing one of Patek Philippe's most significant resources, their quality. As a matter of fact, the entire company runs with it. Following the debut of the Patek Philippe seal in 2008, the firm implemented strict criteria that frequently exceeded industry averages. The impressive part is that it is not limited to their watches. Patek Philippe also places the highest standards for their employee training, right from the watchmaker to the salesperson. Their customer support is also exceptional. Scarcity also comes to play as well. It's been said that fewer than 1 million Patek Philippe watches have been made since 1839, which is rarer than some very high-end Swiss manufacturers produce in a year. While the demand grows due to its limited availability, even more people drool over it, almost like every top enthusiast has to own one. Some Patek Philippe watches are so sought after that buyers actually have to draft and submit an application process to simply show they are high-caliber collectors and deservedly should own one. The intrinsic value of Patek Philippe's timepieces is also commendable. If you are purchasing a Patek Philippe watch, you already know that it is highly unlikely that you would lose any money if you choose to sell it off later. And even more astonishing is the fact that the value of the watch may improve with time, though this cannot be predicted in specific situations. For example, pieces such as the Nautilus models that sold for around $3,000 when they were first produced in the 1970s can now routinely go for 5 or 6-figure sums. Similarly, Patek Philippe perpetual chronographs like the model 2499/100 originally retailed for around $20,000 during the 80s, but are now valued at around $400,000 currently. The quality of the hand-applied designs in the manufacturing process is so high both in technique and style, as so many steps are needed, even for parts like its wheels. The natural beauty of a Patek design could be said to be its movements. Each piece is hand-finished, which might seem unnecessary given that only a seasoned watchmaker can genuinely appreciate it, but surprisingly, even the average admirer cannot help but be struck by its majestic beauty. The dial designs are also similarly exceptional. Artisan processes such as enamel painting, extremely delicate engraving, the setting of precious stones, and inlays all play a significant role in why it is deemed highly esteemed. Another reason why they are seemingly so valuable is the rich history behind them. Patek Philippe has been in existence for 183 years and has constantly been producing fine timepieces, resulting in an even better experience and feedback from generation to generation. Now, why are they seemingly expensive? Patek Philippe is hands down one of the most prestigious and expensive watches on any market, along with other highbrow names like Rolex, Audemars Piguet, and Vacheron Constantin. With over 173 models available, a brand new Patek Philippe watch will cost you anywhere from $12,500 and upwards. Well, to be fair, expensive can be said to be subjective, and in this case, you are simply buying what your money is worth, or at least that's the Patek Philippe branding slogan. Alas, from a cynical point of view, they probably still are. A Patek Philippe watch even holds the record as the most expensive watch ever sold at an auction. The Patek Philippe Henry Graves Super Complication pocket watch commanded an eye-popping price of $23.98 million. The Patek Philippe 1518 stainless steel watch also sold for $11 million, earning the title of the world's most expensive wristwatch ever. Some other expensive watches from the brand include the Patek Philippe Grandmaster Chime 6300A-010, which cost $31.19 million for its complications and exclusive factor. The Patek Philippe 2499/100p, which costs over $3.5 million, is also one of the rarest watches in the world. The Patek Philippe 1527 perpetual calendar with an asking price of $5.7 million, and the Patek Philippe 1563 split-second chronograph in 18-karat gold of a mammoth $1.5 million. So what exactly makes Patek Philippe watches so expensive that people are willing to fork out millions of dollars for them? For starters, it's influential. Some of the richest people in the world hold Patek Philippe watches in high regard. In fact, so many celebrities and influential people claim to wear the brand. Hip-hop and rap artists also often reference Patek Philippe watches in their music, regarding the watch as a symbol of money and power. The Beatles, Brad Pitt, Walt Disney, Albert Einstein, Pablo Picasso, Nelson Mandela, Prince Charles of Wales, and Queen Elizabeth II are some of the most famous and historical people to own a Patek watch. With all the hype and traction of it being a limited status symbol, how can Patek be cheap? Craftsmanship is also one of the reasons why they are on the pricey side. Widely known for their impressive commitment to craft and attention to detail, Patek Philippe carefully handcrafts each and every element of the watch and its movements. Each watch also consists of 252 individual parts. The tops are brushed and decorated, every plate and bridge is beveled internally and externally. The dials go through 200 separate procedures, making it at least 4 and 6 months to complete. The concept of the design may even take 3 to 5 years. One thing you'd find shocking about Patek Philippe is that they aren't believers of brand promotion. The brand's popularity is centered on good, old-fashioned snobbery with perhaps a splash of bouginess. They have no active brand ambassador and don't loan out watches to influencers. They don't even have a Facebook page. Don't get it wrong though, they do advertise, but really not much. Interestingly, perhaps one of the most important superficial reasons why Patek Philippe watches are so expensive is the heritage they have developed over their centuries in existence and the status amongst watch collectors they have earned over those centuries. For the same reason top companies like Ferrari, Rolls-Royce, and Maybach are expensive, Patek Philippe understands that their name itself has a powerful meaning on their dials, and customers are more than willing to pay over the odds to snatch one up. Patek Philippe is quite exclusive. With a product output of around 50,000 timepieces per year, the amount is quite limited. They have the flexibility to charge higher prices than others for a simple reason. Low supply mixed with quite high demand can mean basically only one thing: a high price. At this point, you're probably thinking, hey, what is so special about this brand anyway? In reality, one of the strong points that make Patek Philippe so special is their innovation. Throughout the brand's history, which stretches for almost 2 centuries, it has always been viewed to be a pioneer. For example, the first ladies' repeating wristwatch was made in 1916 by Patek Philippe, a 5-minute repeater. In the following decade, the very first split-second chronograph and first perpetual calendar wristwatches were made by Patek Philippe. The Patek Philippe Calatrava, a revolutionary dress watch, debuted in 1932. Patek Philippe timepieces are not only well known for their impeccable quality, but also for the brand's design to be a leader in innovation. The company has filed over 80 patents, quite a lot for inventions that have proven to be the most important advancements in watchmaking. Some examples here include the split-second hand, the minute repeater, and the perpetual calendar. Patek Philippe's vibrant history is etched into every watch they have ever produced. Not many watches are produced by them each year, making each individual watch a commitment from a watchmaker, which are quite a few, and the company gives its users the absolute best they can to enjoy their acquisition for many years and forthcoming decades. Perhaps if they really wanted, they could create more watches every year and earn more money if people were willing to purchase them. But they still don't. They attract a specific clientele and one who savors and appreciates detailed craftsmanship, rich history, heritage, and the status one gets for having it on the wrist.